involve minorities like Walter Scott and Philando Castile, the calls for police accountability become stronger.
Once upon a time, the officer's word and the integrity was all that needed to be said.
But that's not the case any longer, especially when civil rights advocates point to new technology that they say will help promote that accountability. Body cameras are helping to shape conversations about how to police our communities.
Everybody should be in favor of a body camera because it protects everybody.
Mexico Beach, Parker, and Lynn Haven all require their officers to wear cameras while on duty. When an officer like Sherry here wants to start recording, she presses this button once.
Wants to.
And she's good to go.
She shouldn't have no fucking choice.
She sees and hears until pressing
Wouldn't
the
have
button
no
again.
fucking choice.
Lynn Haven began using them about 2 years ago.
Pros outweigh the cons when it comes to the cost of the equipment and the data storage.
Chief Reamer argues body cameras are beneficial for both the officer
The biggest reason is officer safety.
Zebra 5-port displayed on and the public.
When they write their reports, they're accurate, they're thorough and complete.
Mexico Beach bought body cameras about 3 years ago.
It paid for itself pretty much the first day out.
Police Chief Anthony Kelly says body cam video proved one of his officers was unjustly accused by a suspect just days after officers began wearing them.
The return that you get back from a third person's eye view that records any situation that the officer is involved, it just saves thousands of dollars in the end. Also shows the community that we're here to protect each and every day, that we're not hiding anything.
That's right.
But not all local departments are sold on the entire body camera argument.
How do we get there? How do we do that? What's the benefit gained from it?
Panama City Police Chief Scott Irvin says they've done the research and, like many larger agencies, can't justify the cost.
Bullshit.
$800,000 for an initial cost.
The chief says body
Bullshit.
cameras are complex and would likely
Bullshit.
require hiring additional staff to manage the system video and the public records requests.
The biggest thing is where we find the funding to make it happen.
Irvin has considered
fucking
applying
simple,
for
it's
grants
incredible,
and approaching
man.
the city commission. But for now, it's a dead issue.
Bullshit.
For the Bay County Sheriff's Office, cost is only one of the concerns.
When we receive a call, somebody needs us desperately most of the time, and we see them at the worst point in their life.
Oh, you're gonna use the embarrassment.
Record that and make that available.
You're gonna use the
for everybody
embarrassment
to see.
bullshit
If a person's
thing.
arrested, that body camera video footage is going to become a public record.
We have had officers that have come to us and offered to buy their own body cameras. The officers are not against it. I go back to what I said about privacy.
While the
Ain't no
Sheriff's Office
fucking
isn't
privacy,
considering
that's
body cameras
bullshit.
right now, that doesn't mean it won't sometime in the future.
We always want to hear what our community's got to say, because they are why we're here.
Last year, the Florida senators considered a proposal that would have required all law enforcement agencies to use body cameras, but it failed to pass, and the legislature is not considering a similar bill this year.
It's all about a cover-up.
Houston 15's Alex Thorson reporting.
It's all
Now, we'd
about
like
a
to know
fucking
what you
cover-up.
think. Go to our Facebook page and vote yes or no on our poll question. Do you think all Florida law enforcement agencies should require officers to wear body cameras?
Fuck yeah.
We're back in a moment. Volkswagen of
Yeah, I don't give the cops a choice. That's my tape recorder. I've been recording for years, busting dirty cops. That's right. Cops fear a tape recorder more than they do somebody with a weapon. Because the thing is, somebody with a weapon is going to let them know. And they can prepare for that. But they can't prepare for a tape recorder. What you're going to be hearing is an actual recording of where I was trying to prevent future deaths of George Betsy, who was 65 years old. And I called yesterday on St. Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018. Only trying to present solutions that we could stop future possible deaths. Anyway, here it goes.
Police Department. This is Brenda.
How you doing, Brenda? I'd like to talk to Corporal Rosmando, I think his name is, about the case of where George Betsy was in a wheelchair. Just a very something of very important public importance, and I'd like to talk about how we can prevent future people being hit in wheelchairs.
Okay, now Corporal Rosmando is not on duty. He won't be back until the 18th. He'll come back on duty.
Well, see, here's the thing, okay? I'm talking about something of great public importance. George Betsy, where he was hit in Panama City, Florida, about a week ago. Today's February 14th, 2018, if I'm not correct right now, right?
Correct,
Okay. I'd like to see if we could find out if that traffic light, because I did an inspection on the intersection at 23rd and State Avenue, right near the Walmart there. There was plenty of lights there. There was traffic cameras, and yet they're saying we can't figure out, how George Betsy got hit. And my experience has been at that traffic light there, usually the traffic lights will favor the main intersection. And when you try to cross, I have found this out at Wilson Avenue, I have found this out at State Avenue, that if you try to cross, it gives you very little time compared to the main, the main road, trying to cross it.
Okay, I don't know, the lights are not the police department. I think the lights are controlled by the Department of Transportation or the state in some way.
But you see, here's the thing. What I don't understand is how it is that you all can't, contact, the Florida Department of Transportation, because I've tried contacting Michael Lewis, the 3rd District of, in the Northwest Florida, Michael Lewis, who's the Florida Department of Transportation, about trying to see about getting it to where traffic lights will be predictable. And I highly believe what happened with George Betsy was he had the light changed, and the pickup truck that hit George Betsy was probably had a green light and didn't give George Betsy enough time to cross the street. And this is my experience with the lights. See, when you say, oh, why don't you contact State Department of Transportation? Yeah, I've tried contacting them, but you see, the thing is this, is if you're not a fellow public agency, they basically don't even listen to what you got to say. So I'm calling the Panama City Police Department, right? Am I correct on that? Where George Betsy got hit, I think it was Sunday, right?
Correct.
And would that be the right response, Brenda? If I'm asking you to see if we can't get something done about it, what is the chances of me getting anything done? As I said, I've already contacted Michael Lewis of, the Florida Department of Transportation, which I think is the 3rd District, in Northwest Florida, and I get to hear anything back from them. It's almost like, that if you're not a fellow agency or something like that, you're ignored.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
If he's going to be back on the 18th, and yet at the same time, what is it, WMBB on their website, they also had, Channel 13 had, if anybody has any information that can solve this problem, to contact, Corporal Rosmando, I think his name is, or something like that, right? Am I correct on that?
Correct,
And so why can't, here's something else. This is something that maybe might be a community goodwill thing. If Panama City was to offer stickers to be putting on all wheelchairs.
Okay, I can't address any of these issues, sir, but I'll have Officer Rosmando call you if you'd like.
Well, I mean, you're with the Panama City Police Department, right? Am I correct on that, Brenda?
I can't address any of these issues for you.
If you can't address them, How? It's the 18th. All right, right now it's the 14th, right? So in other words, there's nobody else that's interested in solving the problem, preventing other wheelchairs from being hit? Now, I'd like to talk to somebody about it. I'd like to talk to Scott Urban about this. Scott Urban is the police chief. Is there anybody that I can talk to? Yes, I'd like to talk to somebody as of February 14, 2018, about where George Betsy, who was in a wheelchair, got hit. I think it was last Sunday. There's a very important public importance thing that I want to talk about. I tried calling the Panama City Police Department. It was in the news about contact Corporal Resmando of the Panama City Police Department, and Brenda's reply was, when I told her that I contacted...
Operator, how can I actually help you, please?
And I'd like to talk to somebody about the Bay County Sheriff's Department about a very important public thing as of February 14, 2018, about where George Betsy got hit and killed at near Walmart on 23rd Street and State Avenue. And I tried calling Brenda of, the Panama City Police Department, 872-3100, and they gave me a runaround.
Sheriff's Office, how may I direct your call?
Yes. As of February 14, 2018, I'm trying to call somebody to prevent future deaths of people. George Betsy was hit in his wheelchair. I tried calling the Panama City Police Department, 872-3100. I talked to a Brenda, and I got hung up on giving a runaround.
Record.
Yeah, is this records of Bay County Sheriff's Department, Becky Johns?
Yes, it is.
How you doing, Becky Johns? Becky, I'm trying to prevent future deaths of George Betsy that was hit. I'm talking about something of great public importance that got hit Sunday. Today's February 14th, 2018, if I'm not correct, right?
Yes, you're correct.
Becky Johns, I can't believe this. I talked to Brenda of the Panama City Police Department. I told them that I tried contacting, I talked to a Michael Lewis, who happens to be Florida Department of Transportation, District 3, I believe it is, Northwest Florida, about how these lights